Hello, I'm Tara Brabazon, and it's my great pleasure to be speaking with Professor Steve Redhead about his new book, Football and Accelerated Culture, This Modern Sporting Life. And in this book, Steve, you talk about a lot of incredibly innovative new theories, cutting-edge disciplinary theories, but also in this book there is a chapter on a project you've been doing for 10, 15 years, and that is on the football hooligan memoir, and particularly the literature and the genre that comes around us. So could you talk a little bit about this emerging sporting hooligan memoir?
Yeah, you're right. The book does depend on this original study, and I had some very good researchers working with me at different universities, so I really acknowledge their work on this project. It basically started when I was reacting to what in criminology is called left idealism, which is basically, as far as football hooliganism is concerned, looking at the resistant aspects of football hooliganism, almost romanticising football hooligan gangs. And what I tried to do in this particular project was to specify what I thought were the contours of football hooligan gangs, particularly in Britain, from the 1960s onwards. And one of the ways in which I did that was actually to do ethnographic work myself at early universities, when I was young enough to do those things. But actually, I'm still very interested in the ethnography of football gangs, and one of the contributions I think I make in the book is to show how a particular study we did of football hooligan memoirs, which is hooligans actually writing about their own activities, and in some cases journalists writing about those activities too. There's actually an archive, which is at Charles Sturt University where I work now, of 108 football hooligan memoir books. And the interesting thing about them is that they range from well-written journalistic accounts to almost unreadable vomits from former hooligans. But actually that does provide you with the contours of a study of 400 football gangs. And some of the best ethnographers that are around today are doing work based on those aspects of popular culture in the first place. That's how they get the ethnography going. And I'm really excited about the possibility of that, and also of contributing to an area which I think is very important, not in terms of left idealism, but what I would call raw realism, ultra-realism, as my colleagues at the Teesside Centre for Realist Criminology in Teesside in the UK have actually called it. Their ultra-realism work is a really path-breaking piece of work. And I think this fits in the area of hooliganism. So it's not a matter of romanticising, but it is a matter of getting real culture and real history and a real sociology. And I think that's what I've been able to provide in this study. It's long-term work. The first hooligan memoir was actually published in 1987. And when I was doing archive work around football fanzines at Manchester Metropolitan University, we started that work. It's been going for 20 years, and we've now got a massive archive.
And again, in disciplinary terms, I think this chapter transforms not only sociology, but I think it transforms literature as well, because it agitates and confuses the relationship between subject and object. And in methodological terms, I think that's quite interesting in itself.